Angry Guy here. And wow, guys, I have a stream for you today. So, a federal judge, as you may have heard, has ruled that women must join the draft. I am not making this up. I am not making this up at all. Many people completely have missed this. Okay? Women are now legally required to join the draft, regardless if they sign up or not. I'll basically give you the breakdown of why this is now the case. So, a judge ruled that the male-only military draft was unconstitutional. Okay, and I'm going to break this down, and I'm also going to contradict any points that are incorrect. Okay, because I actually have all this. I have the sources for you. I want you guys to see this. A federal court ruling that it is unconstitutional to require only men to register for the draft will increase the pressure on Congress to either expand the draft or eliminate it. Now, I'm going to explain this to you. Because it is now found to be unconstitutional, that means that while the government can still ask men to register for the draft, it legally cannot send them to war unless they volunteered to do so. You heard me right. The government cannot legally send men to war unless they volunteer to do so, or women have to serve alongside the men. Because every man aged 18 is required to register for the draft, it basically would automatically mean that every woman in the United States would now be required to comply with the draft. If that wasn't the case, then the draft completely becomes, it cannot be upheld. So those are the only two choices at this moment. They could also go back and pass an amendment. You heard me right. They can go back and pass an amendment to the Constitution that would allow for a male-only draft. But as the Constitution currently is, it is unconstitutional to only draft men, and it cannot be upheld. For those of you thinking, okay, well, so why is it still happening? It's because men are still, it's the only reason why it's happening is for this reason. So have you heard about anyone being arrested recently for not signing up for the draft? Like, I'm asking you a question. When was the last time you heard about a man being arrested or even losing financial aid or any of those other things? Think about this carefully. You haven't. You haven't. See, what they tell you is this. They say that if you don't register for the draft, then you could face losing all these different things, which is also, by the way, illegal, what the government's telling you. But they tell you that they can do it. They didn't tell you they will do it. If you don't register for the draft and you go out and try to get financial aid, right? How often do you hear about guys being denied? Because that's illegal. The government left themselves a loophole in the situation. Okay? They're not actually forcing anyone to register for the draft. What they're doing right now is they're just hoping men will register and not question it. Okay? Because the law is now unconstitutional, hence it has now been voided by the federal judge. You heard me right. The only way that the government can enforce anything against you, including penalties, would be if they were to appeal to the Supreme Court. Okay? So what most people don't realize is that the draft has been fully voided at this point, unless not only are women would not be simply be required to sign up for the draft. They would be required, every woman previously. So for example, Your grandmother would have to. What your grandmother could be required to serve. That's the best way to put it. Your mother could be required to serve. Any one of your sisters, anyone could be required to serve based on the current guidelines. So either the government would have to do one of two things. Either women are now legally responsible, either women now legally have to, and actually that's the current law. That's the current law, basically. So the government has actually been violating the law. So they cannot enforce the draft in its current state. Hence, the draft is currently void. Based on the current way the draft is written, the draft is currently void because it can no longer be enforced. So the draft is over. Guys, the draft is over. The draft that they have written out there is not even written in a way that would allow women to join, meaning that the entire draft has to be rewritten, a new one has to be written. They have to write a new draft. But to say that you're going to keep, and they can't enforce an unconstitutional draft while they're dragging their foot to work on the new draft. They legally, guys, no one can legally be drafted now. After women were allowed to participate in anywhere in the military, it became unconstitutional. Do you guys get that now? Dark says, I thought they stopped the draft in 1973. They didn't stop the draft in 1973. What actually ended up happening is, well, maybe Carter reinstated the draft. Okay, there you go. So there was a point where they did stop the draft, and then it was reinstated, I believe, by Carter later on. I'm sorry, I'm a millennial, so I have to go back 10 years before I was born to remember this stuff. Yeah, they did stop the draft, and then Carter reinstated it, evidently. Okay. But under the current, and also not only that, they also changed the years that people were required. Originally, it was 18 through 29. Then it was 8. Now it's 18 through 25. Right? So it's actually changed a few times. But based on the current legal structure, the only thing that prevented women from being required to serve and register for the draft was because they could not serve in every branch of the military. That was the last reason why, and that's the last reason cited by the Supreme Court, if I recall. So basically, now that the decision reached by the Supreme Court has now been removed. So now women are required to serve for the draft, and the thing is, the current draft that exists has already been voided based on the changes that were made recently. Yeah, guys, this is really serious. So the draft it's void. It's completely void. That's unbelievable, but it's true. It's true, guys. They can't draft anyone. When was the last time you heard anyone go to jail for not or lose financial aid? It's just a threat, but they legally cannot draft you. Okay? The reason why the judge didn't even bother to void it is because it was void on arrival. They can't enforce it. It's not enforceable. That is the current structure of it. And many of you know that there's a lot of political concern right now, especially what's happening with the Iranian situation. All right? So you have to really wake up and realize that we're living in extremely unstable times. All right? For those of you that want to prepare yourself, don't forget that you can head over to cryptomoney.academy, visit our courses section, and we have a brand new course for you guys that we just dropped called The Best Crypto-Friendly Countries for Expats to Flee to. All right? This course is still available on special for $399.99. Some of you missed the early bird sale yesterday, which was only 24 hours. Everyone who purchased it at that price was able to get it for $100 less. But keep in mind, the actual price is $1,887 normal price, so you're still saving a considerable amount. But anyway, so yeah, you can pick this new course up for $399.99, and you will have a week to do that. And then after that, it's going to be going up to $599 next week. So you guys will have this week to pick it up for $399 if you want to get it at that price, but it does go up to $599 next week. This course, however, is going to teach you the best crypto-friendly countries that expats, especially people from English-speaking countries, can flee to and restart their lives or wait things out in during economic turmoil in their own countries. This is so important. So while this course can be taken by anyone, it places great focus on the best crypto-friendly countries for Americans, Canadians, Europeans, specifically British when we talk about European, but everyone. Okay, and you get all the tools and resources you need. So, for example, let's say you wanted to leave the United States today. Let's say you lived in, in Guatemala, and you wanted to leave Guatemala today. Using this course, you actually get the resources that you need to figure out which countries you can go to. You basically will be able to figure out which country you want to go to instantly. I give you the tools that will show you that will give you the information instantly. So if you're in Guatemala and you want to move to Peru, you basically just say, I'm from Guatemala, I want to move to Peru. Boom, boom, boom. And it's going to tell you exactly what the requirements are for you to move to that country. Just like that. On top of that, you're going to get a bunch of other resources, which are going to tell you things such as the cost of living in these countries. It's going to tell you how much it costs. It's going to tell you what a car ride costs, what this costs. It's going to give you a full breakdown of all the costs of every country that you can possibly think of that you could possibly want to move to. All right. So you're going to know instantly when you purchase this course, you're going to know instantly what the travel requirements are for any country you want to go to. You're going to know instantly what the cost of living in these countries are for any country that you could possibly think of going to. All right? You're also going to learn which of these countries are crypto friendly so you can go decentralized, meaning the government can't track you. The government can't find out where you are. The government can't seize your funds, okay? And you can take them out at any ATM that you want to. So it becomes a game of cat and dog, cat and mouse. Catch me if you can. Do you guys see what I'm saying now? Okay. And on top of that, there's also hidden pleasures in all of these places, pleasures that you cannot even imagine, that you cannot even start to imagine. All right, guys, give me a second. I'm gonna things going off. It'll stop in a moment. It's still going. Just give it. It'll like stop in about a minute. It's still. Would you believe that it's? See, a B. I thought it was going to start all over again, but it didn't. All right. Yeah. So, like I was saying, guys, listen, hey, I can sit back and relax and laugh at things like the car alarm going off right now. You don't have that luxury. Y'all are over in these Western countries where everything is a nightmare. Some of y'all are in some other countries where things are still a nightmare. All right. It's time to learn and it's time to get going. All right. On top of that, like I said, you're going to learn the secret hidden pleasures. Okay, the real reasons why you may want to live in these countries. These are things that you're not going to find out anywhere else. They're not going to tell you, oh, you can find this type of lifestyle there or that type of lifestyle. You are going to learn that and so much more in this course. Like I said, you guys have the course will be at $399.99 for the remainder of the week, and then it will be going to $599 next week. All right. And keep in mind, it goes up gradually. So I always give people time to get it as it's increasing. And eventually it'll go all the way back up to $1,887. But like I said, guys, it's up to you. It's up to you if you want to stay in the situation that you're in now, if you want to stay in that world, or if you want to do better for yourself and do better for your family and do better for your future by ensuring that you can actually survive and thrive outside of the system that everyone is trapped within right now. That's it. Guys, you can find a link to the course in the description of the video. And it's available on cryptomoney.academy. You should see it on the screen right now. Cryptomoney.academy. Links to description of the video if you want to pick this up, if you want to get out of the what I call just downright confusion right now that's just taken over all of these countries. Anyway, guys, that's everything I have for you right now. Please remember to love Jesus Christ. Keep him as your Lord and Savior, because without him, we are nothing in this world. And be kind to each other, because we need each other. Men, women, all of us. Doesn't matter where we come from. We all need each other. All right. Oh, and shout out to Toyin, my new business manager, who's helping to get everything in order and And so, guys, that's something I'll tell you a little bit more about in another video. But I just hired a new business manager, and she has been amazing. She's like organizing everything. She's taking control of the crypto business. She's taking control of everything, and we've been sorting out so many things. So we're moving on up, guys. We're moving on up. But anyway, guys, I wanted to share things that were a little bit of that what's been happening in my life. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm really happy about that because things seem to be like really getting structured out. And she's the business manager and the interim president of the company right now. Anyway, guys, catch you in the next one, and I'm out.